Good morning, Montgomery School. Happy April 22nd, 42222. That's today's date. We have some birthdays to announce, and we're going to start with tomorrow, Saturday, second grader, that's tomorrow's the 23rd, Rayan Chaudhry. Sorry, Ryan. Sorry about that. Wednesday, the 27th, next week, sixth grader Malia Villafane. Thursday, the 28th, fourth grader Celia Ziegler. And also Thursday, the 28th, sixth grader Gavin Schragle. 4 wonderful birthdays. Let's let them hear it. Here we go. Well done. I was joking with Simon that we're the only ones not benefiting today, or at this moment, maybe we'll do a quick change afterwards, from Chase's Dress Down Day. So thanks to Chase for giving us this Dress Down Day today. The great power of the head of school in action. Wanted to let you all know about some great work that we've all been doing together in the community. We collected and donated $591.50 for the Lord's Pantry from the Friday Night Light Spirits Week, which was back in the winter. And we wanted to let you know that the Lord's Pantry sent a letter of appreciation and kindness. Thanks for providing food to help those families. It really makes a difference. So 3 cheers for all of you. A round of applause. As a community, we make a lot of impact on others, and every now and then we ask our families and our community to support us in that work. And so one of the things that we do that is have our big benefit you've been hearing about all week. That's tomorrow. I know that many of us have been, online and at Goodwill and getting our 80s costumes together. Very exciting. So we'll make sure that for those of us that can't be there, or those of you that can't be there, we'll bring back lots of pictures of funny costumes for parents. But if you are looking to come, there's still tickets available. Please hop online and grab those. We're also starting to see bids already on all those wonderful class baskets and the cool things that are available. And so bidding can happen whether you come or not. So thanks everyone for your support. All of those funds go back to you, the students, with all the special activities that we have. This week has been the Middle School Innovation Inspiration Week. Let's give those guys a round of applause. Something different. Really cool the way that different disciplines have come together. So not just studying math and English or science, but combining those areas with the teachers and with the students leading the way. And they're going to do a showcase today, kind of a museum walk. So if parents want to come see what that's like, come here at 1:15 and then get a chance to see all of the projects, which are connected to different parts of our campus. And we got a beautiful day for it. So we're really, really lucky. Next week, the middle school will be out on their trip week. Yeah? Excited? Feel a little quieter around here for the rest of us, but all sorts of exciting destinations going in all different directions. Thanks to Mrs. Walton for pulling together all of the buses for that. I know that's been a huge, huge task. And thanks to all the chaperones who are making it happen. That will run Monday through Thursday, and then a day of rest on Friday. So middle school will not have to be here on Friday. I know there will be some rest needed because there's a lot of exciting activities. Next week also, on the 26th, we are having a dine out at the Brickside Grill in Eagleview Town Center. There'll be information in Schoolhouse News, but if you can head over there for a meal, some of those proceeds will come back to us. Just say Montgomery sent you. And another thing that you'll see advertised is Grand Friends Day. inviting grandparents and special friends. Yes, give them a round of applause. That's coming up. We haven't been able to do that for a couple years, so it's going to be great to have our grandparents and special friends here back on May the 6th. So just a couple weeks away. We just ask those friends and grandparents to register online. We'll have a special chapel here for them, and then they'll get to visit classrooms and see the work that you all do. And then we'll have a half day on that day, so you can go out to lunch or do what you want to do with those grandparents and special friends. And a lot of announcements this morning. This is the last one, I promise. We are doing a special event here on campus on the following day, May 7th, 10 to noon, and this is a rain or shine event. It's called the Spring Carnival and Super Science Saturday. So for those of you that remember, Super Science Saturday is a winter activity that we used to do before we got interrupted, and we're back on. So we're going to have a big event. This is a community event. It's sponsored by the admissions office. Montgomery families are also welcome to attend if you bring somebody with you. Bring someone who you think might be interested in Montgomery School to see all the super stuff that's happening, food, games, science experiments. Thank you to the science department for all the work you're putting in on that. There'll be face painting and a bounce house and puppet shows, because again, this is an admissions event. We want to interest families in the community, tell them about all the great things you know about Montgomery School. So that's on the 7th. We'll be spreading the word. Be on the lookout for that. Enough announcements? Yes, Mr. McManus. All right, now on to the main event, my chapel introduction. It is my pleasure today to introduce today's chapel speaker, Mr. Simon Lange. Simon has been a Monty student since 3rd grade. He's the middle of 3 Monty siblings, but speaking as a fellow middle child, there is nothing in the middle about Simon. He's very much his own person. Some of the comments from his teachers, 2 quotes I pulled out here. Simon played the best Mr. Tushman in our chapel play on the book Wonder. They remember that. Also, Simon made teaching fun. He was engaged in all lessons, participated often, and brought pure joy and excitement to our classroom. A polite, friendly, enthusiastic, positive thinking, and intellectual risk-taker, Simon sets the tone in many settings he enters. His coaches laud his tenaciousness, especially on the soccer field, where his ability to see the field, his excellent foot skills and ball control create opportunities for others. In my personal interactions with Simon, I find that he also sees the field of interactions with adults and friends alike. He has his head up, he's ready with a welcome, with a hello, and to take on what's next together in our community. I know you'll enjoy his message this morning. Please welcome Simon Lange.
Thank you, Mr. McManus, for that kind introduction. Good morning, parents, teachers, and especially students. My name is Simon Lange, and I will be representing the final 8th grade chapel this year. First, I would like to ask you what balance means to you. There are 2 definitions of balance, but I would be using this one: a condition in which different elements are equal to each other. This basically means you were able to balance both school and sports equally and enjoy both as well. To me and to all of you, balance is a very important part of our lives. If you have balance in your life, you are able to enjoy the things you do while still being challenged. The reason why I say this, you must be challenged, is because if you aren't, then you will lose the love for the things you do. For example, I often go through phases where I'm super into a new hobby, get totally consumed by this thing, and I do nothing else. One example of this is knitting. Knitting. I know what you must be thinking. Simon, knitting? That's for grandmas, not for cool 8th graders. And my response to this would be, yes, you're right. You're 100% right. Knitting isn't something that most young kids are drawn to, but I was for some reason. So over the summer, I started knitting a blanket. At first, the time knitting, I had a blast and so much fun. I loved being able to make things like a blanket and actually be able to use them. But after a while, I got bored of knitting, and when summer ended, the knitting set got shoved into the back of an art drawer in our basement. The reason why I bring this story up is it's in a great example of having equal balance. Since I did one thing for a short period of time and forgot about everything else, I quickly got bored and fell out of love with the hobby. This shows you that you aren't taking balance to your hobbies. Stop liking them. An example of good balance act I have sustained for a while is soccer. I played soccer for a long time and as long as I can remember. I've always loved soccer and going into our backyard with my brother and having a competitive game. This often ended in one of us getting really mad at each other and trying to hurt each other, but it was still quite fun. I kept up soccer all throughout my lower school years and into middle school. In middle school, I was able to play with my friends and have a blast in the middle school soccer team. I had a fun time blending my friends from school and soccer. It created some amazing memories that I will never forget. One of those memories is when I was in 6th grade and I played with my brothers and his friends. Almost every game, a boy named Gabe, who was quite tall, would charge at the attackers from the other team and start screaming like a gorilla. I thought it was funny, and this is definitely a memory I won't forget. Another memory I have is when I was younger and played in a tournament in Hershey. That year, we won the tournament and beat every team by at least 8 goals. One game, we won by 11. That was a super fun memory and another memory that I will definitely not forget. You may have found out from these stories, I really like soccer, and I was able to stay in love with the game by not letting it consume my life. I've played when I wanted to and not always allowed myself to do other things. This shows that balance can allow you to make everlasting memories and friendships. Now I'm going to read you the answers my friends and family said to the response of these questions. I asked others what they thought about balance and to show and help you guys understand what balance means to them. Question 1, what does balance mean to you? Question 2, how do you show balance in your everyday life? Question 3, do you find yourself focusing on the things you should be doing or the things you want to do? And question 4, what advice would you give someone who is trying to show balance in their life? The first person I interviewed was Ben. Having balance is a non-stressful time, and balancing your workload of school activities will help him do this. To Ben, staying in a calm environment and making your workload balance out is what balance means to Ben. Ben also said the way he shows balance in his everyday life is by balancing his schoolwork and his after-school activities. By finishing his homework before his out-of-school work, he found that he's able to finish his homework early in a short amount of time. He also still has time to play Fortnite before going to hockey. Also, he added that by doing his homework before hockey, he was able to go straight to bed after getting home and have a good night's rest. Sometimes, Ben says he focuses and prioritizes the things he wants to be doing instead of the things he needs to be doing. He says that it's okay to take some downtime and to just chill, but after relaxing, you must go back to your work. The advice that Ben would give to people who are trying to find balance in their life is to use your time wisely, because you often have limited time to do certain things. The next person I interviewed was my mom. To my mom, balance is the ability to meet competing priorities in your life without sacrificing her time to take care of us. She's basically saying that balance to her is when you can manage the tasks you have to do without taking any abilities and anything you like to do away. In my mom's life, keeping a schedule is the best way to stay balanced. It helps her be more present around the house, deal with her work hours, and spend time getting me and my siblings to our many out-of-school activities. Another way she is able to stay balanced is using self-care and taking some time off. Taking time off allows yourself some leeway and a great way to de-stress and keep a positive attitude. My mom says that it's okay to take mistakes, and and you're not supposed to beat yourself up. My mom said it's okay to prioritize the things that you want to do and not necessarily need to do, but to always get finished what you need to do after. Lastly, the advice my mom would give to people who are trying to find balance is that in life it is good to set goals for yourself, and that it's okay to give yourself downtime. You must always remember what you are striving to achieve in the future. Also, she said to be flexible in the moment, and on that one day, a given day, balance might look different than the day after. The final person I interviewed was Grady. Grady told me that to him, balance meant to have many things said equally and have priorities and maintain these priorities. Basically, balance to him means that everything is level and nothing is more important than another. The way Grady uses this balance is throughout his life is by keeping a schedule, just like my mom. He says he uses a schedule for school, sports, and relaxation time. To him, these three things are very important to him, and therefore he needs to divide them equally. Just like the other two people I interviewed, Grady said that he prioritizes the things he wants to do over the things he should be doing. He said, what is the point in doing something you don't like before the things you do? But even though Grady does slack off a bit, he always gets his work done on time. The advice Grady would give to people who are trying to find a better balance in their life is to realize your strengths and weaknesses and to use them to your advantage. Thank you again to my mom, Ben, and Grady for your views on balance. As you may have noticed, everyone has different circumstances in balance, in many different things. Whether it's grades, sports, or relaxation time, it's important to know how to balance your life. It also is important to find a good balance between the things you want to do and the things that might not be necessary. Finally, it is important to share advice to people who may be struggling with balance themselves. Going off the idea of asking for advice from others to help them find balance, a lot of people lose balance often because they keep to themselves and don't ask for help or instruction from others. So listening to others and asking questions is a great way to stay calm and to keep balance. An example of this in my life is when I have trouble learning how to juggle a soccer ball. If you don't know what juggling is, it's basically keeping the ball off the ground without using your hands. Juggling is quite hard to learn and can be quite frustrating at times. When at first learning how to juggle, I was around 8 or 9. And in the beginning, I had trouble. I kept on messing up and got annoyed. So eventually, I just stopped trying to learn and gave up. This shows that when you don't ask for help from anyone and really don't take a break for anything, you lose focus and you don't like it anymore. I focused too much on this and ended up not wanting to juggle anymore. I didn't try to juggle for a while until my coach showed me an easier way to do it. He showed me that you can let the ball hit the ground once before kicking it back up. This would help me learn to juggle, but still have fun. So I took my coach's idea and started to learn how to juggle. He told me to take it slow and to not try and do as many as possible. He told me to try and do 1, 2, 3, and then maybe 5, 10, 15. By doing this, I was able to keep liking how to juggle and keep learning how to. I kept wanting to know how to and allowed myself to do different things instead of just juggling. Since I was younger, advice helped me get better at something and be more prepared for the future. Now, I would like to give you some kids in the audience advice on how to stay balanced in your future. First off, I'd like to give some advice to the second graders. I came to Montgomery in 3rd grade, and it was a big jump for me. In 2nd grade, I didn't have much homework, and math was pretty easy. But when I got to 3rd grade, there was a lot more homework, and I had to learn how to do multiplication. Even though school got harder, I didn't really put any more effort into it. Instead, I talked with my friends and didn't pay attention. And let me tell you, that is not a good idea. I started having trouble with my times tables and stopped liking math. I got frustrated, and that isn't fun at all. Then, halfway through the year, all the boys had a chat with Mrs. Baumeister. She told us that we had to stop talking in class and to pay attention. I took that very seriously and started to focus more. Magically, I started doing better in math. I also was able to do homework faster and still have time to play with my friends. I realized that I can focus in class and still have time and fun time just joking around with my friends. So my advice to the 2nd graders is to be ready for school, is to be ready to do more work. Work is nothing to be scared of, but it is something that you need to take seriously. If you are able to stay happy while getting all your work done, then that is the best thing, and you are able to show balance. Next, I'll give some advice to my sister's grade, who are the soon-to-be middle schoolers. For me, I thought 6th grade was super intimidating and going to be very difficult. I was not used to having so much freedom and was scared I would get behind on my work. But there was one thing that really helped me feel more confident and sure that I would succeed. That was my friends. I was lucky enough to meet two boys named Grady and Arthur who came to Montgomery in 6th grade. Both Arthur and Grady were two people I bonded with in a very short time. I found that when I struggled with something, they would always have my back. Whenever I was finding class or homework hard, my friends would really help me out and supported me. I was able to take difficult tasks head on and succeed. Another thing I worried about in 6th grade was my grades. These were very scary, and I stayed up many nights annoyed at my grades and constantly comparing them to my peers. After a few months in the middle school, I realized that comparing myself to others was pointless since I had strengths and weaknesses. Once I realized that I was able to focus on things I could control and not the things I couldn't, I came to terms with the fact that I wasn't as good as language arts as Ben was, or wasn't as good at math as Ion was, but instead, I was able to do the things I did best. The two main things that you 5th graders have to know to be at balance next year is that you are the same boat and all your friends are trying to help each other out, and to also focus on fixing the things you can and not the things you can. The last grade I would like to give advice to is 7th grade. Next year, 7th grade will be the leaders of the whole school. You'll be role models for every kid sitting in these front rows. They will look up to you and often come to you for help. Although you have buddies, having this new role in middle school can be kind of scary. And when going into 8th grade, you have to worry about harder classes, the ICES test, your chapel, and design a difference project. All these new opportunities will come a lot quicker than you think, and you need to be prepared for them. You need to be able to balance your heavier workload and more projects, along with all of your out-of-school work too. The best way to balance in 8th grade is preparation. Preparation is something that helps when it comes to tests, quizzes, and projects, and will help you feel more prepared and get better grades. Preparation can come in forms of studying, talking with your teachers, or even just asking questions in class. We're lucky enough to have such small classes that we can ask a bunch of questions to clarify things that are complicated and have no fear of being made fun of. So when the 7th grades move up to 8th grade, you should make sure to prepare for everything you do and not leave stuff to the last minute. You should also just enjoy 8th grade, since it is your last year at Montgomery School. If you use these tips, I will assure you that you will have a lot more balance in this coming year. To wrap up my chapel, I would like to leave you with this quote. Balance is something you find, it is not something you create. It is something you create. This quote shows that balance is something that you have to create and do for yourself. Although it won't be easy, it is something that we all need to succeed. Thank you, and have a nice day.